Hello guys, I am Deepak Punyal and I welcome you to my channel The Easy Concept. So in this video we are going to talk about how to begin with web development. So this is for complete beginner. If you are a complete beginner in web development, this video is for you. Right? So start watching from the first slide so that you can understand the motive and inspiration behind learning web development. And then finally when you move ahead, we will learn about multiple technologies that you should work on and how can you start with web development. Right? So let's start with the agenda that we are going to talk about in this tutorial or in this video. So the first thing is introduction to the web that we will talk about here, and then we'll talk about developing a website and then deploying a website into a server. So first thing is how the web works. So when you talk about web development or web, actually we have two computers and it's easy to understand in that way. So I am telling you in that way, right? So it is not actually two computers, but you can understand that we have two computers. One is client and another is server. And whenever you type URL on your client machine or on your local system, that is mapped to an IP address, right? And that request is sent to the server and server responds with some files or resources that you have asked server to send you, right? So what will I do? I will show you the demo of this thing. So we have browser here. Whenever you write google.com, you are client here and you are actually sending a request to the server to send this page to you. Whenever you click another page or another link, like you are clicking images, you are actually sending a request to the server to send this page to you, right? But when you write google.com here, that request or that URL is mapped to some IP address. And what is IP address? How can you find out the IP address of Google? Let me show you the terminal. Here we have a terminal. If you are on Linux or Mac or Windows, it doesn't matter. You have to just type ping here and then google.com, and this is sending a request to the google.com and it will receive some response from there, and it will show you the IP address of google.com, right? Although there are multiple IP addresses of these kind of websites or these kind of servers, but you will generally get one here. Now stop it. You have received a response from this IP address. I have received this response. If you send the request from your local system, you might receive another IP address depending on your location or depending on the load of the servers at that particular moment. So when you get this IP address, you can write this in your browser. I will show you how can you do that. I will close this. So instead of google.com, you can write this IP address and you will receive the same page, right? You can even write 80 here using colon, and that is port number used for these kind of services, and you will again receive the same response. Clear? So I hope you got an idea that when we are talking about web, it is actually consisting of some clients and servers, and client is sending request to the server, right? And there is a thing called IP address which you can find out using ping command. And when browser request server to send the file, server will send the file if everything is okay. Otherwise it will respond with some error or some another message if available, right? And what happens after that? Browser displays the whole content to you in some form, right? So now what we will do, talk about the working demo of this whole thing. And how can you do that? We can use XAMPP server for this. XAMPP is actually consisting of Apache server, MariaDB database, then PHP scripting language and Perl scripting language. Clear? So what this thing is, let me show you the web page again. So whenever you are writing google.com here, this is client, your system is client, and you are sending a request to the server, right? But you don't know where server is. It might be in some another place, or you can say it is a remote thing, right? So whenever you are developing some website or web project, you need a client and server. But if client is at your home and server is at some another location, that is difficult to develop, right? What you can do, you can install XAMPP in your system and create a local server on your own system. So for that, what you have to do, you have to install XAMPP. I have already installed that. So here is the XAMPP. I opened it for you, and now you can go to the servers, and here you can see there are multiple servers and they are stopped at this moment. Let me start this server, Apache web server, and now you can see it is starting. So whenever you start this server, now it has started running. Now I will show you the demo or working demo of this again. For this you have to write localhost in your URL, and you will see this page, right? Instead of localhost you can write IP address here. But what is the IP address? I already know the IP address. It is 127.0.0.1. But if you don't know, what you have to do, you have to just open the terminal. So here you have opened a terminal. You can write ping and then localhost. Now you can stop it, and you can see you have got the response, and it is 127.0.0.1. Clear? Now go to the web page again. So you can write this and get the same page. Even you can use that port number here, and you will receive the same page. Clear? Multiple time you have heard that some server is not working at a moment. So what actually that thing is? You can see here this server is running. So let's stop this, and now see the web page again, and it is saying that the site cannot be reached. So this problem generally occurs when server is down or is not working. You might have heard a lot of times that WhatsApp server is not working, Gmail server is not working, and it creates a panic. Because if server is not responding, you cannot send a request and server will not respond. Clear? So whenever you are uploading your website or deploying your website to some server, it should work most of the times, or you can say that it should work 99.9% of the times, so that customers or clients are not panicked, right? So every time this server should work. You can see the details here. It is giving us multiple options that check your internet connection, allow Chrome to access the network in your firewall or antivirus setting, and so on. There are a lot of things it is giving us, right? But we know the problem, and here is the problem. Apache web server has been stopped. So this should keep running so that you can get the services all the time, right? Now you can go to this page again, refresh it, and it is working. So whenever you are working with the XAMPP, you have to go to the phpMyAdmin to access the database, and it is again saying MySQL set cannot connect, invalid setting. And this is again same problem. Our database server is not running. So let's click this, start the server, and now you will see how the database server runs, right? So refresh this page again, and you can see these are the databases. Clear? So whenever you are developing some application, you should have some front end. Front end means whatever client is able to look into his system or local system, and then there is server where some logics are written and it will access the database and respond request according to that database or whatever data it have, right? So just imagine you have Facebook and you are sending a request to Facebook server. When you log in, you send a request to the Facebook server, right? So Facebook respond to you according to your details, and those details are stored in the database, right? So I hope you got an idea that how the web works. So now let's move ahead. I will close it as of now. I am stopping all the services and close this XAMPP server. You can see its latest version 7.4.10. You can also install it for your system, whatever system you are using. So that's how XAMPP works, right? And it is available for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Now we'll talk about various roles in the web development. So look at the first two things, front end development and back end development. So you already know that we have two sides, client side, that is your local system, and server side, your remote system. And server side could not be your remote system, but it is remote system. So when you are talking about front end development, this is actually the interface you are looking at. So you need some engineering or development for that. And those engineers or those people who are working to develop that thing are called front end developers. And the people who are working on the back end or on the server side, they are called backend developers. So generally front end developers work with HTML, CSS and JavaScript part, and backend developer works with some another scripting language like PHP and the databases like MySQL. And if some of the engineers or some of the developers are working with both the things like client side and server side, they are called full stack developer, and this kind of development is called full stack development. Then there is another thing, software testing. So when you develop your software, or maybe in the middle of the development, you can test it in bits and pieces, so that you can always ensure that your software is working completely fine, and if there are any bugs, they should be resolved immediately. Now another thing that comes here is about hosting websites. So how can you host the website? We'll talk it later, but as of now you should understand that whatever you have developed, it should be deployed to some server, right? Then there is another part, it's called security of the website. So this thing you should keep in mind, that security of websites is very important, and these kind of people who are involved in these things like security of the websites are called ethical hackers, right, or security experts. So they will check the vulnerabilities in the websites and try to rectify that. Other roles when you are developing websites are like content writing. If you are developing a website, there should be some content on the website, right? And there should be some graphics or videos on the website. And these are the roles of graphic designer. And the final part is of search engine optimization. What does it mean by search engine optimization? That whenever someone is searching the website using some keyword, your website should be ranked up, right, on the Google pages or any other search engine. So how does that happen? That is a separate technique, right? So these are different roles. You can start with some of them, maybe front end designer, then you can go to the back end development, then you can learn about the full stack development. Software testing is the thing that you can keep learning in between of all these things. Then you should learn about the hosting website and security of websites, and then these roles a little bit. Clear? So how to develop a website? So when we are talking about developing a website, there are two kind of pages. One is static pages and another is dynamic pages. So static pages mean it will display the same content for everyone, and this can be developed using HTML and CSS. But most of the websites are not static, like your Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. They are all dynamic websites and keep changing the content depending on the user or depending on the time, right? And for these kind of websites you need HTML and CSS, that is must. But other than that, you can use JavaScript, PHP and MySQL or any other alternative that we are going to discuss in coming slides. So static pages are easier to create, but they are not very complex and they don't fulfill our all purposes, right? So you should learn about static pages first and then go deep into the dynamic websites. So what is alternative of PHP? If you do not want to use PHP, what can you use? So if you love Python, you can start with Django and Flask. In the beginning, you can start with Flask. It is easier to learn, and then move towards Django. But if you love JavaScript, and I will suggest that you should learn JavaScript because it is used in front end and back end both, then Node.js can help you in the back end development. And for the front end, you can use React for the JavaScript. Alright. If you love Java, you can use these frameworks of Java, Spring, Hibernate, Struts, or some other that we have not discussed here. So you can read these things in detail and choose any one of them, whichever you like, right? Now when we are talking about databases, there are some alternatives to MySQL as well. So one is SQLite, but it is small and light and cannot be extended to larger databases. But for the practice purpose and creating some small project, it is very good. So you can use SQLite for that. Other than that, there is Microsoft SQL Server, which is paid, but it's good. If you want to use that, you can also use that. After that, there is Oracle databases. It is also paid. Then PostgreSQL, it is open source and it is very good if you want to work with open source, and it's good in the sense that it's not paid and can be extended to larger databases. So you can use either MySQL databases or PostgreSQL. But if you have paid services, you can use other things also like Microsoft SQL Server and Oracle databases. Other than this, there is MongoDB, which is NoSQL database. So if you don't have any SQL data or structured data, you can use MongoDB for that, right? So we are not going into detail of all these things, but you can learn more through the internet and through the tutorials given on the YouTube or Udemy or any other platform, right? So you might ask that I don't know any programming right now, what should I do? So what you can do, you can go to the WordPress and create your website without any programming languages. You should not have much knowledge about the programming, but you can install WordPress and work on that. It's an open source software and it is used to create beautiful websites, blogs or applications, right? And one more thing, it is free to use and cost nothing, right? So I think it's better for a beginner. So now we are going to discuss few things as we are going to develop websites. So first thing, you have to buy domain and hosting, right? So how can you do that? You have some options given on the slide. It is GoDaddy, HostGator, Hostinger and BigRock. There are some other domain and hosting services available, but for my website I have taken this GoDaddy services. So I will show you the demo of all these things. So let's start. So this is my website, theeasyconcept.com. So you can scroll this to see the website and how it looks. So you can see that it is a good looking website. What you can do, when you get a hosting, you need to go to some services like godaddy.com, then search for the domain name here. Let us suppose I want to search my domain. It will show you that this domain is not available, and you can see theeasyconcept.com is taken. Find alternate names below, and then someone is trying to sell it using these much of money, and see how it works. You get a dedicated domain broker. We contact the owner and negotiate on your behalf. I am not selling this domain, so you cannot find this domain in this much of price. You can buy another one, theeasyconcept.com, theeasyconcept.in, and so on. And you can see bayconcept.com, it's selling in 3,67,647 rupees. And why this is doing so, I don't know. You can read about this because it is a premium domain, but let it go. We'll buy some cheap domain for the practice purpose, right? So you can see there are multiple prices available here. You can buy a smaller one. You can buy a you can buy this one if you want to practice things, right? So it will only cost 99 rupees for the first year. Then you can add it to the cart. Let me go there. Where is that? So I am adding it to the cart, right? Other than this, I have to buy. So what I am buying here, I have bought this name, right? Name for my websites, but there should be some space where I can put my code and server can use that code to send me the response. Clear? So let's go to the cart, and now it is asking a few more things. Full domain privacy and protection, I don't need this. I'm saying no thanks. Then continue to the cart again. So for 2 year it is asking me 1078. If I want it for 1 year, it will ask me only 99 rupees. I don't need any email, so I will delete this thing from here. Okay, and then I need one thing, and that thing is hosting, right? But I am not able to find hosting here. What I will do, I will go to this thing and manage hosting, and I need web hosting with cPanel, and this is actually my hosting. So I will click it here, and now you can see there are lot of services available in the hosting thing. So web hosting Linux, web hosting Windows, We generally take hosting of Linux. So web hosting, budget friendly shared hosting, and this is taking a price of 99 rupees per month. So you can see host a single website 99 rupees per month, economy 199 rupees per month, and so on. So you can buy any of these. I will add it to the cart, and I will take it for 12 months only, right? And I don't want to add any of these things. So look at it carefully so that we don't buy unnecessary things. And now we have the concept.xyz in our cart and starter Linux hosting with cPanel in these much of rupees. So actually you are spending 2500 rupees to buy all these things. Clear? But I've already bought these things, so I will not do this shopping again. But you can do this, right? You can choose domain name of your choice and buy this thing. Clear? So when this thing is live, or you have connected these things together, like this domain name should connected with this hosting thing, and when this is done, you can go to the web address and get wp admin from here, and this is actually taking you to the dashboard from where you can change anything you want, right? From here you can design your website. So what you can do, you can go to the appearance and then themes, and you can see there are multiple themes available. Let it load, and now you can see there are multiple themes available. If you want to upload this theme to your website, you can activate from here, and if you want to see the preview, you can see the preview from here. And similarly this, and we are not able to see the preview of this, and then this. If you want to add new themes, you can go to this plus button, and then you can find multiple other themes available here and choose any one of them, right? What you have to do now, you can see there are some other languages written here, it is not English. So what you can do, you can just edit these things and change your pages, right? So that's how WordPress works. Clear? So I hope now you are aware about the things. Let me tell you more things. I have some posts here. If you want to change any post, there are not much posts available here. I will show you few other things like courses, or maybe you can go to the pages, but you can see it here, right? I have a competitive programming by easy concepts, or you can say introduction to Python programming, and that's how it works. Let me go to the website to show you how the page is actually looking there. So here I have written competitive programming by the easy concepts, and it is this thing. I will click this and it opens a new page, competitive programming. Here are some images on the background, right? Then it is the course detail. So if you read this, competitive programming is slightly different from conventional programming techniques. So let me see it here. So here it is, right? So whatever things you are seeing here is written here. So I have not done much programming here. It's everything is drag and drop, and I can edit here. Now you can see, you will see the changes. I think there is some grammatical mistakes here. Now everything is edited, right? I will update this page, and whenever this page is updated, you can refresh it and see the changes here. Clear? So that's how WordPress works, right? So you can buy domain and hosting from any of these websites. Now go to the next slide. So we are talking about developing a website, that we have already seen that you can use drag and drop in the WordPress, or you can use custom programming and use HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP and MySQL. So you can go to my course on this page. Here you can see you have to go to the easy concepts on the YouTube. What you have to do, you can search YouTube, then you can write the easy concepts, and this is my page. Go here and then click on playlist. So here is the playlist for you, web development, and the first lecture start with the Git and GitHub for beginners, and there are actually 32 lectures here. So you can start with this and learn few basics. I will keep adding more tutorials here, right? Now coming to the third part, it is about deploying website. So you can directly use GoDaddy here, or you can use FileZilla for uploading website to the server. So I do not want to open GoDaddy every time, so I have downloaded FileZilla for that, which uploads my web pages to the server. Alright, so let me show you the demo of this thing. Open FileZilla, and here you have to type your website name, then your username, your password here, and then port number here, and I think it is connecting. So it's connected to the easyconcept.com, and now it will list the directory here. So these directories are the directories on the remote server, and these are the directory on the local server. So I will move to the htdocs here. So you can see there are some pages or some directories, or let me move to the desktop first, because I have some pages on the desktop. You can see index.php, index.html and so on. And if you go to the website /hacking, whenever we are writing hacking, we are getting something, right? So this is actually index page, index.html. So if you want to change anything here, you have to change that file in your local system and then upload to the FileZilla. I will show you how to do that. So let's move to the public folder here, which is public HTML. It is retrieving directory public HTML. It is taking some time, you can see here, and the connection has failed. It's again trying to connect, so let's wait few minutes, and now it has connected again. Okay, so we have to go to the hacking directory, and you can see we have pages here, index.html and index.php. Now match it here. Index.php is 677 size, and we have 260 size here. Yes, index.html is 3409 and it is 3409. What I will do, I will move to the desktop first and find out this index.html for you. Open it in some text editor, and this is the file that I have uploaded, right? And this file you are able to see here. So let me show you a little bit change I want to do. So what I will do, I will change this fishing to caps. Okay, only a small change I will do. So I am writing. Now see the page here, and it is in caps. It is in local system, but if you look at the remote, you can see it is still in small, right? But I want to change that. So you have to use FileZilla for that. Just save this file first, go to the FileZilla and drag this file from here, and you can see that this file is uploading to the server. It will ask us to overwrite the file because both the files are having same name. So let's wait for a second, and now it is asking us to overwrite. Just overwrite this, go to the web page again and now refresh it, and you can see it is coming in caps, right? So that's how you make changes on a local system and upload them to the server, right? So now I'm going to close this local file, and now you can close this FileZilla as well, because we are not working on this, right? So now you have learned how can we buy domain and hosting using these service providers, and then the way you can develop a website and deploy a website. All right, so you have learned all the processes till now. For learning more about these things, you can learn in bits and pieces and then create a project. You can go to the my page again, or I can say my YouTube channel again, and see the projects that I have given there with the name 5 best projects, and in that you can develop some of the projects and upload them to GitHub and share the link with us. Right, so I hope this is clear to you. If you have any doubt or any question or any query, you can write in the comments and I will try to respond back as soon as possible. So see you in the next video. Till then, thank you so much.